Convention Center, this is, I sent you, digital. Because it was, I didn't know if we had a printed copy. It looked like somebody scribbled them.
Okay, it's 5 o'clock. I would like to call this February the 14th, 2023 Planning Commission meeting to order. I would ask you to turn off your cell phones or any other devices so not to disrupt the meeting. Anyone wishing to speak to the board, please come to the microphone and state your name and address. The first thing on the agenda is approval of minutes from January the 10th.
Move for approval?
Second.
Any questions, comments, or concerns on the minutes? Hearing none, I'll call for vote. All in favor of approval of minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes are approved. Director Sheeline.
First case tonight, Mr. President, is case P17A22, petition of Gavin Cox, Loctite Storage LLC, requesting development plan approval for Loctite Storage. This is at 2718 West Zartman Road.
Is there someone here to represent this case? Please step forward. Move for approval.
Second.
Tori Tripp, Tripp Engineering and Consulting, 401 South 2nd Street, Converse, representing Loctite Storage. Just a real brief summary of the project. This will include 10 new storage buildings. There's just a little over 400 units to the site. There's going to be no on-site rental office, so rentals will be handled online, and the site will be fenced. And then I can answer any questions you guys have.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P17A22, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is carried. Congratulations. Director Sheehan.
Next case, Mr. President, is case P20P22, petition of Kokomo Community Development Corporation, requesting approval of primary and final plat for HGI Kokomo subdivision. This is at 191 East Superior Street.
Move to approve.
Second.
Please go.
Name is Becky Fye, 530 East Ohio Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm representing the Kokomo Conference Center for the approval of the plat tonight. Before you is still a preliminary plat, because the final plat has not been finalized yet. We just received 85 more pages of title work just last week. So we're still trying to make sure that we have everything documented that we need to proceed before we finalize this final plat.
Make sure that the motion is for primary only.
Yep. So we're not approving final plat tonight, correct?
John and I talked today, and John, correct me if I'm wrong, we felt like we should go ahead and give the approval tonight. John will not run it through the Board of Works until everything is put on the plat that needs to be on there.
So, okay,
We're
so,
vacating an alley as well, and I
Yes.
want that referenced on the plat, so until we vacate the alley, I'm not gonna let them record the plat, so.
okay.
What did we find out about the sewer that was gonna, it looked like it might end up under a foundation, or there was,
Well, we can talk about that under the development plan approval, but we've worked that out, so.
okay,
We've got it worked out.
okay.
Any other questions from the board?
So are we amending our motion then to, or I suppose probably should be a motion to amend for approval of the primary plat and approval of the final plat, subject to the Director of Engineering's approval.
That makes sense.
I'll make that motion, whoever made, I don't know who.
I made the motion, so amended per TJ's recommendation.
Okay. And I'll second it again.
Any questions from the audience? Okay, I'll take a vote. All in favor of case P20P22, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved. Director Sheehan.
Next case tonight, Mr. President, is case P20A22. This is the petition of Kokomo Community Development Corporation, requesting development plan approval for Hilton Garden Inn and the Convention Center. Again, this is at 191 East Superior Street.
Move to approve pending the changes or recommendations TJ made earlier.
I'll second.
Again, my name is Becky Fye with CEC, 530 East Ohio Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. Also with me tonight is the architect who's actually here live tonight, Marcus Standy.
So if you have any questions regarding that, he'll come to the microphone. So we're here finally to approve this project. We did come and seek a height variance and sign variances 2 months ago. This is for the new convention center, which is approximately 55,000 square feet of convention space, museum space, in conjunction with a connecting hotel that has 123 rooms. We're here tonight to seek final approval for this project. We did have some pending items with the sewer that John and I have worked through. We're actually going to replace that sewer because we're concerned of the age of that sewer and being partially in clay pipe. That we thought it'd be best to replace it since we're having a 2-story connector above that section of the road.
Does this address the moving of the manhole cover that was brought up in plan?
They're gonna replace that line. We did track it down. It's probably closer to the foundation than it needs to be. I wasn't sure we were gonna encounter it, but we worked through it, and since they're gonna replace that section from Superior down to where they make their connection, we've essentially got a brand new sewer going through there, and we can move it wherever we want at that point. So,
You know, 2 questions from plats, the drive.
they changed the drive the way I wanted it, and the ramp the way I wanted it. Yep.
Very good. Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P 20A22, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Director, shoot.
This case is case P01A23, petition of Bharat Patel, Kokomo 2 Lodging Associations LLC, requesting development plan approval for a stay APT hotel. This is at 5128 Cartwright Drive.
Is there someone here to represent this case?
Yes, sir.
I need a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Please go ahead.
Keith Gilson with Stepforth and Associates, here, or 7965 East 106th Street, Fishers, Indiana. Here representing on behalf of Kokomo 2 Lodging Association LLC, seeking approval for a development plan for the Stay Apartment Suites Hotel. Be happy to answer any questions if you guys have any.
Everything from the plat, John.
The one question I still have is, can you explain to me the difference between this development and 1-bedroom apartments?
This is not an apartment, so this is a short-term, it's like a hotel, so they offer nightly rates, and they also do, I believe weekly rates, but that, they don't offer any long-term type of thing or anything like that. So it is a hotel, it's just a short-term stay type of thing.
That was one of the things I wanted to make sure we got on the record.
Absolutely.
Did we get resolution with the vent hoods and all those questions that came up?
I believe I mean, Linda didn't contact me. I don't know if she contacted Greg, but.
Yeah, we talked about it. We're good.
We're all settled there?
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
very good.
Should we talk about parking on this one?
That has to do with the classification,
That has to do
whether
with
it's long-term
classification.
or short-term.
And since it's going to be considered a hotel, parking's fine.
They did add parking for
Yeah.
employees.
We did add,
They didn't,
we had
they didn't have
extra
them,
8
they didn't have them
spaces.
initially, but
Yeah,
they did
yep.
add them.
They had 88 and no employee.
And they got 96 now.
They added.
Did 96, yep.
Yes.
But I mean, if it were apartments, it
It'd
would
be
have
up.
doubled.
Right.
So-
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? All in favor of case P01P23, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case tonight, Mr. President, is case P02A23, petition of Franklin 31 LLC requesting development plan approval for Strickland Brothers for property at 1816 East Wheeler Street.
Second.
Again, my name is Becky Fye, 530 East Ohio Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. I also have with me one of the owner representatives, Justin Fuhr. We're here tonight for the new Strickland Brothers development. It's the oil change facility on Wheeler Avenue. It's about a 950 square foot building on a 0.6 acre lot. We have addressed, I believe, all the city comments regarding photometric signs. They did go with the pole sign. I believe that was in the amended packet that was sent to the staff. I want to make sure that everyone knows that. Originally, it was submitted with a ground sign, and now it has a pole sign out front.
Right, right. Separate approval.
They don't have to have a, they can have a pole sign.
Yeah,
It's not their own wheelers.
they're out. Yep. Correct.
I
Any-
have a
Any
question.
questions from the board?
She said that the ground sign was replaced by a pole sign?
Correct.
I thought they were supposed to be.
They're not in the overlay.
They're not in the
They're just,
overlay. Okay.
they're just out of the overlay, so
Okay.
they are allowed a pole
Okay.
sign. Correct.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? Please come forward.
My mom lives next door, so I don't know if this is a place to ask the questions or not, or
Sure,
if it's,
absolutely.
well, I mean, we don't know, like, what is
I
it?
need a name and an address.
April Owens, what else you need? My address? Oh, 3330 Timber Valley Drive.
Please go, Kim.
Yeah, so we just have questions on what's gonna go next to it, next to her house. She has like a nice white fence, so is it taking the empty lot plus the Calico corner, that little house there, is that being demolished?
Yes.
Okay, so it's taking all that area there. And then like their drainage, like what kind of lights, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there, so,
Well, I mean, from a lighting standpoint, our ordinance is, I believe it's, we can't put more than a half a foot candle on, over the property line,
Correct.
which isn't very much. So that's covered under our ordinance, just anybody putting up lights, so. They presented the photometrics plan that shows what that plan is, and they meet the ordinance, so, from our
Okay.
standpoint. Drainage, all of the drainage is all, they've kinda got a detention area out in front where probably the old gas pumps were,
yeah,
so that's gonna remain grass out towards 931.
Yeah.
And then that will drain, that will detain water for a period of time and then let it out into the storm sewer, so. They are building the building up, I don't know, it's probably roughly a foot and a half higher than the alley, but it has essentially a small moat around it which directs the water to an on-site holding area.
yeah, that was a concern. And then is the alley still gonna stay open?
Yes. They're not actually connecting to the alley, they're connecting the Wheeler to the south.
Okay, like when is this happening?
That I don't know.
That's entirely up to them. Once they get approval tonight, they have to come through our office and get permits through our office and the city permit office, so
So if there's any other questions we can come up with, is it like just contact you guys?
you can contact me at my
Okay.
office.
Okay, all right. It's just, she's
No,
there.
I understand, yeah.
So we're just,
And as far as the lighting goes, like John said, if the lighting does become an issue, you can contact my office and we'll make it right if it's not.
well, I mean, honestly, Crew Car Wash, I think, lights up the whole block anyways. So,
Yeah.
but for me as a daughter, I like the additional lighting. It protects her, I feel like. But she just has concerns. I mean, being right next door
I
and
understand completely.
so, all right, thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
Any other questions from the audience?
Well, before we take the vote, Mr. President, I do want to put into the record that we had a couple folks who live at 1821 East Furman Street, Pierce and Rhonda Hazel, I believe is how their name is pronounced. They could not be here tonight, they're on vacation. They did send a letter to our office, I believe. Everyone on the board has a copy of this. And I don't want to put words into their mouth, but paraphrasing, it seemed like they really didn't have a problem with the development, but they had some questions. And most of it, one of it was about the barrier between the commercial property and their residential property. There was also a question about the drainage, which John just answered. And they had a question about the lighting as well, again, which is covered. Almost all the questions that they had are covered under our ordinance. So if there is an issue down the road, we can certainly address those as needed. They also wanted to make sure that there will only be, I'm having trouble reading, 2 entrances, which will be on the south side on Wheeler Street.
That is correct.
That is correct, right?
The other thing they asked about was the dumpster location.
Dumpster location, mhm.
Should that be a problem in development, do you think? I mean, to get,
Could I ask, where will those be by any chance? I'm hoping not against my fence. The dumpsters, because I hear Mike's
Well,
calling.
ma'am, we're recording this, so you'll have to come to the microphone and let's finish this letter as if it was somebody talking, and then we can address your questions. You can come to the microphone, okay?
Yeah, she did ask that the dumpster be placed on the east side of the building, closest to 931. However, our ordinance,
Which is counterproductive to where
yeah,
we don't allow the dumpster in the front yard, so.
but the dumpster will have a corral around it, so it's not just going to be an ugly trash dumpster sitting there. It'll have a corral around it, and that will, normally what we ask is that corral will mimic the facade of the building, so it will look really nice, so. So I think that was mainly what they had on their list. Again, most of what they asked for is covered by our ordinance, so if there are issues down the road, we can certainly address those if they become a problem, so.
I think her other concern too was about a barrier being between the two.
Yes, yep.
Yes.
there will be a buffer there, right? There has to be.
There has to be a buffer between the commercial property and the residential property, correct?
Any other questions from the audience? Okay. We don't mind answering them.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the
We don't mind answering the questions if you want to come up and ask them.
Not at all.
We don't have a
Okay,
question.
okay. Any other questions from the board? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P 02A23, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is approved.
Thank you. Next case tonight, Mr. President, is case P01Z23, the petition of Brandon and Megan Yard, Yard Enterprises LLC, requesting Kokomo City Plan Commission petition recommended to Common Council for a change in zone classification from R4 urban residential to NC neighborhood commercial, and this is at 518 East Boulevard and adjoining lot 72 to the east. And Megan is here to present the case.
Move to approve.
Second.
Let's continue.
Megan Yard, 506 Venetian Way, Kokomo, Indiana, 46901. We're just looking to expand the business parking lot beside us. But before purchasing that lot, I wanted to see if I could get it rezoned to be able to do that.
Any questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? Please come forward.
Would you please describe your business and
Ma'am,
what it
we
will
need your name and
detail?
address, please.
Okay, my name is Eunice McKibben Cantu. I live in Howard County. I have multiple properties in this area and west of town. My address is 6074 West, 90 South, Kokomo, Indiana,
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
among other properties too, like I
Sure.
said. And all I want to know is a description of your business and what it will detail, if it's going to be an accumulation of cars or there's going to be more buildings built, how expansive and what will it detail? Because the neighborhood, I keep it pristine and like it to stay that way, and I know a lot of those neighbors.
Okay.
And I represent some of their thoughts on it, as they couldn't be
The
here.
building, the business is already there.
Yeah, I'm
It's
aware.
only, she's just,
I'm aware of what, but what will the new addition,
it's just going to be an addition to the parking lot, that's all it is, no new
expansive
buildings.
parking lot?
Just an
Yeah,
addition
can
to
I
the
show
parking.
her that?
You sure can,
Okay,
absolutely.
it's just this right here. So here's the current structure. Here's my business here. This is my existing lot, and I'm looking to purchase and just add the backyard of this to be parking. So the employees currently park back here behind that
Okay.
fence.
So you can keep it kind of pristine and
Oh,
and
yes.
know that
It's
it
gonna
will
be asphalt.
neat.
Uh-huh.
You look like a neat person,
Oh,
I think.
thank you.
I think that you will probably keep an eye on it, but that's the only
Yeah.
reason I was here,
No.
just to make contact, and of course, I received a letter.
Yeah.
And thank everybody for being here and who you represent. I know several of you, of course, hope you don't know me. I hope I haven't made a name with Greeku and Rethlake and Sheila and all the other girls and guys. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the audience? Director Schlenk, we have staff report,
Yeah,
please.
staff report, for case P01Z23. Brandon and Megan Yard on behalf of Lester and Nancy Markle is requesting change the zone classification for the property listed above. Joint property, zones are, to the north R4 residential, to the south R4 urban residential, to the east neighborhood commercial, and to the west R4 urban residential. According to the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map, the property shown above is located in an area proposed for medium-density residential, which is single-family housing of various types between 3 to 6 dwelling units per acre. Typical medium-density housing would be single-family detached duplexes, triplexes, condominiums, townhomes, and cluster housing. This area is not located within an overlay district, therefore no overlay standards will apply. Under land use goals to encourage orderly, responsible development, to promote health, safety, and quality of life of residents in the city of Kokomo while maintaining Kokomo as a leading community for affordable housing. Relevant land use objectives are to encourage adequate land for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational uses. Designate specific districts in the community suitable for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational uses. The goal of the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Transportation Map is to enhance connections throughout the city for improved safety, function, and efficiency for all modes of transportation, including vehicular, bicycle, and pedestrian networks. According to Transportation Map, this area of East Boulevard is defined as a major collector, which is a street designed to facilitate the traffic, to facilitate the collection of traffic from local streets. Also, it provides circulation within neighborhood areas and convenient ways to reach arterial streets. The traffic count for this area of East Boulevard is 5,587 cars. The requested zoning change is compatible with all surrounding zonings. Therefore, the staff desires that the board forward a favorable recommendation to the Kokomo Common Council.
Any questions from the audience? Any questions from the board now that we've had staff report?
I do have one. Is the house gonna stay there? Is that okay with the zoning?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. So you're just adding the parking behind the house? Okay.
Which they already do. I'm just
Right, I mean, you can see the cars on the area, you're
Yeah.
just gonna actually make it
legal.
correct.
Correct.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P01Z23, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved. It will now go to the city council and will be presented there by Councilman Grieco.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next case tonight is case P02Z23, petition of Macy Apartments LLC requesting the Kokomo City Plan Commission petition to recommend to the Kokomo Common Council for change in zone classification from IS institutional to DC downtown commercial, and this is at 210 North Market Street.
Move to approve.
Second.
Hello, DJ Butcher, 106 North Washington Street, Kokomo, Indiana, 46901. Yes, we're wanting to rezone 210 North Market from IS to DC. This is where CAM used to operate out of, and we took it over. We are wanting to convert it into apartments. A couple of one-bedrooms on the first or second floor, a one-bedroom, and a couple studios on the main floor. And we are also applying for a variance to allow multifamily on the first floor.
Any questions from the board?
Is there parking for an apartment? I mean, because I know before they park on the street a lot, is there?
So there's couple spots in the back, roughly two. With the DC zoning, you can tell me if I'm wrong, there's no parking requirements, but there is street parking, yes.
Any questions from the audience? Director Sheehan, we have staff report, please.
Staff report for case P02Z23. Fortune Companies, on behalf of Macy Apartments LLC, is requesting change in zone classification for the property listed above. This property will be used as a multifamily dwelling unit. Joining property zonings are to the north institutional, to the south M1 multifamily residential, to the east R5 urban residential, and to the west DC downtown commercial. According to the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Maps, the property shown above is located in an area proposed for downtown commercial, which is commercial uses that complement a high-density pedestrian-oriented business district, primarily including entertainment, retail, and service businesses. This area is not located within the overlay district, therefore no overlay building standards would apply. That's not true because it actually is in the downtown overlay, but the building is already there, so there won't have to be any changes made. But I just wanted everybody to know that is in the downtown overlay, so. Land use goals to encourage orderly and responsible development to promote health, safety, and quality of life of residents in the city of Kokomo while maintaining Kokomo as a leading community for affordable housing. Relevant land use objectives are to encourage adequate land for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational uses. Designate specific districts in the community suitable for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational uses. The goal of the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Transportation Map is to enhance connections throughout the city for improved safety, function, and efficiency for all modes of transportation, including vehicular, bicycle, and pedestrian networks. According to the transportation map, this area of North Market Street is defined as a local street, which is a street designed primarily to provide access to abutting properties and discourage through traffic. The traffic count for this area of North Market Street is 1,303. The requested zoning change is compatible with all surrounding zonings. Therefore, the staff desires that the board forward a favorable recommendation to the Kokomo Common Council.
Any questions from the board now that we've had staff report?
Is this gonna be operated as kind of extension of Macy Apartments?
Yes, correct, yes.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P02Z23, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved. It now goes to the Common Council and will be presented there by Councilman Grieco.
Thank you.
Thank you. Director Sheehan, other business.
I think we need to do the claims first, if we would, Mr. President. Approval of
Oh, right
claims.
here. I move to approve claims in the amount of $23,626.08.
Second.
Thank you, I wanted to get that done. I just wanted to have a quick.
I got called for a vote. I was going by the order. The order says forever, other business is
Just
adjourned.
call for the vote.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Love.
We have a motion and a second for approval of claims. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The claims are approved. Director Sheehan.
I hate it when you mess up.
I know it.
Okay. Now, the next discussion I'd like to have is, we had a discussion in the County Plan Commission last month, and Misha was there as our representative, and the county board brought up that every month we have a representative from each board go to the other boards' meetings. The reason that started years and years ago was mainly during when we did all of the huge subdivisions between the city and county, and a lot of time we had overlapping properties between city and county. In reality, we don't have that anymore, so I don't wanna say it's a waste of time, but I don't think it's anything that's needed anymore. that we send a representative from the city to the county and vice versa. If something comes up in the future that we feel like we need a representative from either board, we can certainly do
Just
that.
address it case by case,
We could do it
moving
case by
forward.
case if we need to. But I don't feel that we're in a position at this point in time where we have to have, because basically their job was to go back to their board and present the information to their board, which I'm there to do that anyway. So we just had a conversation that probably didn't need to happen anymore. We did not take a vote, just so you'll know, we did it by consensus. So if you're okay with that, TJ, as long as we don't have anyone that is against not sending a representative, if we can just do that by consensus. And like I said, if something changes that we need to send someone, we can certainly do that.
Absolutely.
That
I
makes sense to
assume
everybody.
whoever disagrees is the person that goes every time.
That's correct. We're just gonna put that person's name down on here, yes.
Or
And-
they
and we
say
will-
the one that's not here is the one that
Yeah,
has
there
to
you
go.
go. And we will certainly still give the dates of the county plant. That way, if someone wants to attend, they certainly can, and we'll do the same at the county for the city, so.
Sure.
That makes sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So are we good without a vote, TJ? You think we're
Yes,
good? Just
I'll
a
buy that
consensus?
for
All right. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Are you
Thank
sure?
you. That's, yeah, I think so. Since I'm out of order, I think I'm.
You're not out of order.
Yeah.
Yep.
I need a
Yeah,
motion
it
to
starts
adjourn,
at 6.
please.
Motion to adjourn.
As long as I don't edit
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Thank
Valentine's Day.
Jessica for.
Yes, thank you,
for
Jessica,
attending.
very nice.